Hello, beautiful being. I am so grateful that you are here with me today and that you are inquiring about this question and this quest in the season of your life. And as we dive into your question, I um I already feel like I'm tuning into your energy, and I have been, all day. And one of them is that you're super dehydrated. And so, to really open up the space to start this session with you, get some water, preferably a glass water. I have like a mason jar here, and I want us to get into this practice to open up the session. I'm just infusing your intention for showing up today. What is your intention? And also, really put in a protection prayer. And if you don't know what a protection prayer is, it really is just a little affirmation to protect your own energy and to protect your own space, that is environmentally or mentally, emotionally, all the things. And so, really, just let's take this time to hold. So once you have your glass of water, come back, and then we can get into the practice. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to hold your water with both hands, and if that's inaccessible to you, you can just, have it beside you and close your eyes and visualize holding it. And so you want to hold it. You can put it towards your chest or on your lap, whatever feels most resonant with you. And then just take some deep breaths here. And even at the deep breaths and holding my water is settling me into the space. And it's grounding me here in my body in this moment, as the weight of the glass jar is anchoring me into the present moment. So just continue to breathe. And then whenever you feel like it is time, invite in this question for you to reflect on as you continue to breathe. What am I doing here? Why am I here? What brought me to this space? And whatever you receive, if it's one word or a sentence, or even images or a color, just keep that with you and infuse that into your water. Say if you have the color yellow, you can think of the sun and just really embodying that sun energy, having it radiate within. And as you hold the water, the radiation can really just turn the water yellow. Really use your imagination here and let it flow. And then use your protection prayer. You can affirm that this is a space for you to just be here with yourself, be calm, connect with your spirit guides, connect with the universe, and just have this affirmation inside of your water. Just infuse it as you hold the water. And then whenever you are done, you can simply drink your water, and that is going to really help you nourish the body into this space. So as you do yours, I'm going to do my practice here. Beautiful. Okay, I hope that that was helpful and nourishing for you, and that could be a practice, a very simple practice that you can do every morning for the next 30 days. Since it's March right now that I'm recording it, we're going into, the new astrological year and a new season. So you could try it out for the next 90 days, or even the astrological year. But I feel like your energy is just so kind of like fast that you're just, even for me, it's like um hard to breathe in a way, because there's just so much like energy. It almost feels like you're kind of, it's not that you're like super busy, but it just feels like I can't even catch up and keep up with my own words and the downloads. So I feel like for you in translation is like, I think it's not that you're getting ahead of yourself, but like you're pacing, kind of like when you think of a baby when they're taking their first couple steps, like they can kind of get ahead of themselves. They're walking so much, or they're trying to walk a lot, and then they fall because they're not like, their legs aren't like fully, you know, developed. And so I feel that's kind of the visual and energy that I'm feeling initially, which is why the result, one of the results is dehydration. And so whenever you feel dehydrated, remember that that is a signal to your mind that you have to truly take a pause and get some water, infuse your intention, infuse affirmations into the water so it can really help you gain that clarity and the development for this new season of your life. I hope that that makes sense for you. Baby, you want to come sleep here? Come here. Hold on, I have to make a spot for my baby. Love, come here. Okay. And then, yeah, I would just say that's what I'm tuning into initially with your energy. And just don't mind me. I'm just going to be making a fort for my little girl. And then I would also say, and yeah, I think that that's pretty. Okay, my love. Now come sleep. Okay. I actually need more water. So it is the reason why I want you to really get clear on your intention for showing up in this session is so you can really get clear in your energy. Because the question that you have asked is a question that you need clarity on. And so, in order to get clarity with our minds, with our vision, we have to get clarity in our energy, the way that we are currently. That's the only way that we can truly receive that insight. Hey, good job, baby. Go inside, my love. Okay, good job. Good job, my little one. Okay, we are good to go with this little one inside. Love you. Okay. Yes, so you good, babe? Okay, yeah. You good. I'm right here, okay? So I feel like right now, even the message before we get into your question and pull a card and get more downloads, one of the things that I am initially getting for you is energy alignment, right? There's a lot of emphasis on cleaning up your energy, um, managing your energy, and figuring out what kind of energy that you need right now. I think that there is definitely new beginnings coming, but we can't go there yet. That's not really the emphasis that I'm feeling. It's more of like um, endings and even some turbulence, which I will get into later. But there's just a lot of like energy hygiene that you need to be focusing on right now in order to even like move into the new terrains that you will be getting into in your life. So let me actually pull up the question now so we can have a grounding for the session. So you asked, what is next for me on my spiritual journey and business? How do I prepare for what's to come? Or what can I do to be ready to receive? And how do I integrate or step into that power? I know sometimes I just have to be patient, and maybe that's the message that I need to hear. But I feel like I'm on the cusp of something, maybe an opportunity, maybe a transformation. So, your question that you're asking, and even if you didn't directly ask this question and you're thinking about these questions, and these questions are, rotating in your mind all day, every night, this message is for you, because these questions are so universal. Like, even for me, of course, I think about these things. Of course, my little baby is thinking about these things. So, the there's so many questions in this, but the main energy and the main question, okay, hold on, let me back up. The main energy with this one, I would say is, I would say it's not necessarily doubt. I don't think that there's any doubt there. I think there's a willingness there for sure, and a readiness. Um, I think that there's just a feeling of fear might be too strong, but let me know how it lands for you. There's some sort of fear of uncertainty, meaning there's a little bit of anxiety, or a lot of bit of anxiety actually, around like um, being in the transition, right? Like not really knowing what's ahead or what's behind. So it's kind of like, what do I, literally your question, right? What's next? Um, and I think that the energy feels more of like, more almost, mm, how do I describe it? It's like, I feel like the chakras that light up for me when I hear this question, and what I feel from you is your sacral and your solar plexus chakras. More so your sacral. And so I feel like there's a lot of not necessarily untapped, but untapped creativity. I don't know. I feel like I'm at a loss for words in this session, which is different and a little bit hard for me. But I think that's kind of like the energy, though, is like there's some type of fog that I'm not able to see clearly, but I feel the energy. I think that's what you're feeling, right? Like there's just like this, it's kind of, hmm. Let me look, okay, at your question. The more I look at your question, the more I'm like, it just stays in my energy field, and I can like keep having it repeat in my mind, in my intuition. Yeah, okay. So I do feel, and I got the message already, that yes, there's a lot of questions, and that's great. But oftentimes, when we have so many questions, it's because we're overthinking and we're not seeing the simplicity in what we have. And cutting through this question, um, it's actually really simple. um, your guides really just ask, well, what do you want to do? You can have so many questions. Like, let me literally count how many like question marks, right? There's in, or we have here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I love that. Okay. I'm laughing because it's just like I'm literally like I resonate with this so much, right? Like it's just, what do I do? Like just what show me, tell me. And it's just very simple. It's just like it the practice for you is to just ask yourself, with all these questions, what do I want to do? What do I want to do with all of these questions, or knowing all these questions that I have, or holding all of these questions? What is it at the end of the day that I want to do? And that is truly the next step that is going to be revealed. Like when you are clear in what you want to do, and even if you're not clear, but you have some pieces of inspiration, or even just like, they don't even have to be inspired, but just like these inklings, these little nudges, because you do have them, and you always get them. You just have to really, I know it's like so cliche and almost like oversaid, but it actually is really true. It's like you do have to be quiet and still in order to hear. And I think that that's like where the energy is in the beginning. Like I was saying, it's like, I think like it's, again, it's not that you're getting ahead of yourself, but it's like, are you developing your legs to get to where you want to go? Um, are you able to um, go at your pace at your current moment and just like being at peace with that? Like, even if you're not, let's just say like you have, and you asked about like your business, right? Even if it's not, if even if you don't have a business or you're not part of a business, just replace this word as a project. This project, even if you have like this big vision of like your ideal scenario of what your project or business is going to look like, what the result will create for you, whatever the case, right? Are you able to be okay that you're not there yet? Like maybe that will be the end result. Maybe that is the vision that you're going towards, right? Because an infant, actually not an infant, like, you know, like a baby, they're ultimately wanting to walk in life, right? They're ultimately going to be walking. So yes, that vision is there, but they're not able to even like walk or run. They're just getting on their feet. They're just using their muscles to stand up. And so that's kind of the energy that I'm feeling is like, I think maybe like um, there's a big gap to where you want to be and where you are. And that is very, I think that is almost like the season that you're in is that you need to be there. You need to be in this gap. And it's not about like shortening the gap, but it's actually about going through the gap so that when you get to your end, you know, quote unquote end, because it never ends, right? So just want to quote that of like it's not fixated. Um but when you get to that, you know, ideal state that you're wanting right now, it's really the growth that matters. That's really the next season of your life right now. That's the um and I know that you mentioned patience, and I mean, yeah, of course, like patience is always a part of anything, really. That's, I think that that's like a vital skill that we need in life. And I'm not necessarily strong on like, I don't really feel like a strong pull of message of like, you need to be patient, you need to be patient. It's more of acceptance. Like, this is where you are. And can you be okay with that? That's where your impatience literally um, births, you know, when you're not accepting your present moment, when you're not accepting things for what it is, because impatience really is a state that results from wanting something and it it not being there. So I think even there, like tapping into your impatience is actually really key for you. Like, it's a really amazing indicator of like, okay, what am I impatient about right now? And you can even, oh, actually, let's do it right now. So, okay, and I love that we haven't even gotten to the cards yet. Um, but okay, so let's get out a journal and of course grab your favorite amazing pen and markers, whatever it is. And I want you to write, of course, like the date and like your intention. Let's start there. And I really want you to, on one side of the journal, leave it for like a drawing. And then on the right side, let's leave that for like the list, right? Writing. Okay, let's go through the list first. So I want you to write down what I am impatient about right now. It could be in the season of your life or today, whatever comes up for you. Write that sentence and then just literally brain dump on this list, and just have it be one page and just keep writing it. Even if you have one thing that you are impatient about, write it over and over and over and over again. um, because I think that'll be an interesting exercise. And if that is the case for you, I think that'll be so powerful to see that word over and over again on paper in tangible form. But and then you'll be able to almost like shift your relationship to it. Um, but whatever kind of words that come through you initially, naturally, just let it flow. Do not overthink, of course, right? It's And the way to not overthink is just to write down the first thing that comes, and then write down the next thing that comes, and then the next and the next. Just keep going until the page is run out. If you do want to continue on on the next page, go for it. But I think that the first page will suffice. So I will actually give you, let's give you 2 minutes. So I'm pretty sure that you've already written, but I'm going to start the timer right now. So 2 minutes. And then please drink water. Okay, 10 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. So just wrap up whatever you have written. And then I'm shuffling cards because I want to ask the cards what you are impatient about. And then, of course, grab your water. You can even stretch at this point. Make sure that the water has all the space to go into your body and nourish yourself through the session. This one is calling out to me. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so well, I would love to know how that activity was for you. And then you can even write it, you can pause this video and write like, how was this activity for me, and you can journal about it, like a paragraph. You can even use an emoji, to represent how it felt for you. And then now I won't show the card yet. I haven't even seen it, but I want to go to the next activity, that the drawing one. So on the side of your list, the drawing. So now when you look at the list that you wrote, you can either pick like just a prominent one that you want to focus on for today, or you can choose one that you've been impatient about for a long time. Whatever you choose, I want you to draw, right? Drawing without words. This is really like an exercise to have a visual come through you to how you feel about this thing that you are impatient about. It can be colors, it can be literally scribbles, anything. You obviously do not need to be highly skilled to do this exercise. That's not even like the prerequisite, to this exercise. I'm clearly not teaching you how to draw. I'm teaching you how to tap into your emotions and your intuition. So in order to do that, this activity is such a beautiful exercise. So really just draw whatever comes through your pen and markers, whatever that you're using. Let it flow through you, and try your best to just not judge it. It doesn't have to be perfect. So even just saying that, it doesn't have to be perfect. What is coming through? So let's do another 2 minutes here as well. Starting now. And then, of course, take some deep breaths. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just remind yourself. Just look at the word that you wrote down, and then draw whatever comes up for you. 45 seconds left. And just keep drawing. Make sure to use up this time. And if you feel like it's complete, then just look at it, right? Keep looking at the drawing. You just keep looking at it so you can really keep that in your energy field. And if you have more to draw, of course, draw more. And then now it is time to end the activity or wrap up whatever it is that you drew. And then, so let's take some deep breaths in water. And before we go into reflection and sharing mode, I want you to thank yourself. Thank yourself for giving yourself this time. 2 minutes each. That's 4 minutes, not even 5 minutes. Thank yourself for spending time with yourself in this new way. If this isn't a new way, just say thank you for writing. Thank you for drawing. And this is such a beautiful way to anchor in and be here in this moment when you say thank you. Gratitude is such an underrated activity that we do on a daily basis, and it is such a pivotal moment that it really does create ripple effects in your energy. So even there, like when going back to the beginning, remember how I said that I feel like energy hygiene is a really big part of the season of your life. Gratitude is going to be a really big um, helper in that, to clean your energy. Being not just being like thankful about stuff and and like the things that you do or have or are. It's really about noticing the really, really small things, because the small details truly create the masterpiece. It really, really does. And so I hope that that can be a reminder for you to, and an invitation for you to, in a way, redecorate or and redefine gratitude in this season of your life, because it's going to be very vital for you to stay clean, to filter out a lot of your energy right now, because I do feel like it's a bit clunky. Like there's a lot of just like, it's just dirty, it's just like a regular like filter, like in the sink. um Food scraps, right? And everything like just gets stuck. So that's where it's like, okay, let's clean that out. It's like gross, right? It's like if we don't clean it out, bacteria is gonna grow and everything, and it's not gonna be healthy. It's not sanitary. So it's the same thing with your energy. What is, and this is like an additional kind of rant that I'm going on, but I feel like it's just more, it's not a rant actually, it's just more information here to support you. So, even that can be another activity for you to do. Not today, because I feel like a lot of you're doing a lot even by being in the session, and we just did this activity together. So tomorrow you can do this, or even next week. But really, use the same format, a drawing and writing. So, but the topic is, what is like my filter, right? What is my energy like? What is the gunk in my filter? I think that that's going to really help you identify all the things that are um, blocking you from feeling that clear flow of creativity, of inspiration, um, of presence. I think those three words are really actually key words for you. But yeah, I would recommend that activity for you to do. Um, and even I would love to do that activity with you in a one on one, which you can always book with me. So that would be really, we would just do a deep dive, just like what we're doing now, but obviously more time. Like I would, because we're doing a live call, like I would be able to support you better and also draw with you. I will describe my services later more if you are interested in that additional support and more integrative support. So overall, that gratitude practice is going to really help you get your energy clean. And so before I even flip this over now, I want to share my reflections because I'm tuning into your energy as I'm like, sitting here with you, channeling for you. And as you did that activity, I'll share the image first and then I'm going to read the message. So I'll be interested to see how this resonates with you and and if it matches with what you wrote and drew. So with me, the image that I received was, I felt like a triangle. I was really like focusing on this triangle, and then what came together was, it was a part of this rectangle, and they're all fragmented triangles that make up a rectangle. And this rectangle in a way represented a mirror. And so to me, it was like, oh wow, like these are really fragmented pieces of this, this person, like you. Um, and I really felt that it was really interesting because they're not like broken pieces. It felt very intentionally shaped. So I think that message, even within that self, is so interesting because really what the message that I'm receiving from that visual is like, it's not that you're broken. So I hope that that's something that can relieve you, and if that's something that you feel is a narrative that you replay, is that you're broken or something's wrong with you, let this be an affirmation that that is not true. Okay, you are not broken, and you are whole, just like right now. And I think, like, especially with this visual, it was, instead of it being like shattered and broken, it felt like to me like these fragmented pieces are coming together. And even that, it's like giving me chills of like really reclaiming all these parts of yourselves intentionally, right? Like these were almost like cookie cutter pieces and together to make a whole. And I feel like it's a big part of when we get into the words that you wrote down. It's like what you're impatient about. It's like these are parts of you that you are actually working on, like your soul is working on. They're almost like little assignments. Like think of them as this: the things that you are impatient about, each one is like the triangle, and your soul is working on them as an assignment to complete. And instead of it seeing like an inconvenience or an irritant in your life, think of them literally like not a to-do list, but an assignment to learn, to experience, and to complete, right? It's not like a check. It's a very different energy when you just put it on a to-do list and check it off versus you approach it as an assignment, and you really learn about things from it, right? It's I hope that the energy is clear in that way. The distinguishment is, it's a chore versus it's um what do you think? Hmm. Oh, this makes sense. Rather than it being a chore, it's the next step. Literally, light bulb moment. It's the next step in your degree, quote degree, whatever um, or project, whatever like thing that you're kind of working towards. It's just the next step. I'm getting chills thinking about this. And like, and that's exactly what you're asking, is like, what's the next step? Easy peasy, right? Look at the list. Look at the assignment that you were given. What is something that you are impatient about? There we go. This is the assignment. And then what, like, how do you make this into an assignment? Well, that's how a one-on-one live will help you. Is like, let's really get into this. Let's, and obviously, like, this right now, like, I'm recording this video and I don't have any live feedback, so I can't really like truly help you um go that further. But obviously, with your knowledge and your own mastery of yourself, your own intuition will lead you. But that would be the magic of a one-on-one live call with me. So but yeah, so that is how the perspective, I feel like, for you can really help you transform in this time of your life, rather than it being a to-do list or a chore. It is actually an assignment, or just the next step. So that's the visual that came to me, and I would be so excited and interested to see what you drew. And then now we're going to get into the words, which is that I'm going to reveal the card to you. And so what we asked was, what is it that you are impatient about in this time of your life, or today, whatever, fill in the blank. But I really just asked, what are you impatient about? And this is what the card is. I love this card. Oh my god. Yes, yes, yes. It's everything that we just and are talking about. Okay, so you got the card. It is the journey. And so, literally take a deep breath here. And you can close your eyes if you want. But I feel like, I would invite you to hold yourself and just like hug yourself and just listen to this message. So, beautiful being, it is the journey. It is natural to feel overwhelmed when planning your future or thinking about the past. But this is your reminder to take a moment to breathe and trust your own path. Inhale, exhale. Everything that you have been through has brought you here today, a stronger and wiser version of yourself. Timing is a strange yet magical thing. Trust that you are right where you need to be, and that you will know how to connect the dots soon. In the meantime, remember to invest in your passions with persistence and diligence. It will allow you to reach new levels that you didn't even know of. Your affirmation is, I know what I'm doing, even though I don't know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, even though I don't know where I am going. Chills. Okay. Okay, so how does that really land in your body? Because I want you to reflect right now before I share more on this. But how does your body react to that? Because my body right now is like chills, and it feels like I'm straightening up my posture. So for me, that signals to me, it's like, okay, it's not that we got to get shit done and we got to get our shit together, but it's more of like, okay, I can rest, I can pause, I can laugh at myself, and everything is good. That to me, that's what it feels like. You have to tune in. Like, what does that feel like for you in your body? Do you have, like, are your toes like pressed and curled right now? Or are they flat and rested? Are you like hunched over? Are you just feeling like more able to breathe or not able to breathe? Really tune in. I would even invite you to rewind and listen to this card again and really see how it reflects what you wrote down about the things that you are impatient about. Because to me, what you are impatient about is literally the journey. Like what I was saying earlier, the gap, right? You want to be where the vision is, not in this gap. And that's what you're impatient about. All the things that you are impatient about, all the things that you wrote down, notice how all those pieces are within your journey and how they are actually going to get you to the vision. Isn't that like literally, right? Like light bulb and like OMG, yes. And so I hope that that is helpful for you. Aside from the impatience and that core message that you just received, I did tune in this morning, and it's not that like you're gonna be going through like a terrible time in life soon, but I do feel and sense that you're gonna be going through some hard times, if not already. And the reason why is like, hey baby, you wanna go inside again? Where do you wanna go? I do. I literally do. And I don't like to actually, I don't, like my type of reading is like, I don't really do predictions. I can do them because I'm, it's just tuning into energy, of course. And I wouldn't tell you to just be like, this is what's going to happen. But because you asked what's to come and how to prepare, I do want to let you know that I sense and I've received energy that right now, whether you're going through it right now or you're gonna be within, the gap that we've been talking about, the journey, that it's gonna be a tumultuous time, meaning, or turbulent. I think the word that I used really was turbulent. It tumultuous may be a little bit not necessarily exaggerated, but I think it depends on how you feel about it. And so, and I, it might be that it's gonna be like really heavy on you emotionally, and I think you're gonna be making some hard decisions that are gonna change the way that your life is on a daily basis. So I think that you're going to go through some life transitions for sure. And these are going to be really beautiful at the end. I think that these are going to be ones that will bring you to this vision that you're thinking, and even a bigger vision, a better vision that you even have. So I do want to clarify that. It's like, if you allow the universe that control that you want, right? That quote unquote control that you want, your life is going to turn out so much better than you actually want it to be. And that is such a beautiful thing. And like, you can even reflect on your own life. right now. It's like, can you imagine? Could you have imagined like 10 years ago that you would be living the life that you are living right now? Of course not. Because you have, and we, right, we all have this limited tunnel vision. And I think that's a gift to humanity. And so using this gift, it's not a curse for sure. Like, I think if we had more access to knowledge and everything, we physically would not be able to handle that. And so honor the vessel that you are in, the human vessel, the human body, and also um, respect that, um, respect your gift to surrender that control. I think that is something that you're going to be leaning into and really learning how to do within the gap that we've been talking about, especially as turbulent times are going to be. Um, they're not like coming soon, right? It's not like, I don't want there to be some type of fear around that, but I can't help that either. So if you feel afraid, then really that is a reflection of what you feel about uncertainty and challenges. But if you feel, whatever you feel is a reflection of what you is a reflection of your relationship with uncertainty and challenges. And so really, for me, my job is to help you feel less afraid and more sovereign in the way that you show up in the present moment whenever uncertainty comes, whenever the life challenges come, and how you navigate and behave in those transitions, in those in turbulence. And so, if you when and if those times and when those times do come, of course I am always available to help support you. Those are better for the one-on-one lives, because that will actually, like, obviously we'll have like a live dialogue, um, and that's more integrative work. So these little divine messages really are, um, they're messages, and they help you get started to integrate. But like, my one-on-ones are very much integrative, meaning we work on what you are concerned about, what you want to work on, what you want to focus on in real time. And so I do want to just share the energy, and for the purpose of letting you know, um, that it's inevitable, first and foremost, because that's literally like the gap, the journey that you have to go through. It's not going to be like forever. Let's just, like, it's not going to be, um I don't think it's going to be years long. I don't feel that. I think it's going to be like a couple months. um Literally, like, I do feel like 6 months, maybe a year at the very most if you're resistant. But it all depends, right? Like, it I can't give you a time frame either, because it depends on how you are reacting and playing your own life, like you are in control. And so, um just the energy that I'm picking up on, that's what I do feel. And I I want to share that, uh hold on. So take a drink of water. And then secondly, I wanted to share that because, of course, you asked like what's to come and how to prepare. And so, really, for me, it's like this is a really great opportunity to clean, to upload, to to develop your legs. You know, what we're talking about with the baby analogy is like you're you are destined to be walking as a human. So you have to learn how to stand. You have to learn how to hold yourself up in order to walk. The main thing that you need to do in order to develop the walking skill, right? And we're using this as an analogy. Walking is the baby steps of standing up, you know, holding yourself up, being able to crawl more so you can really develop those muscles. The key thing in translation is clean your energy. That's literally the whole foundation of this reading, is to clean your energy. And then, hold on, let me read your question again. How do I prepare for what's to come? What can I do to be ready to receive? How do I integrate or step into that power? I know sometimes I just have to be patient, and maybe that's the message I need to hear, but I feel like I'm on the cusp of something. Maybe an opportunity, maybe a transformation. You're definitely on the cusp of an opportunity and a transformation. I would say that, well, first of all, I would say anything is an opportunity. A transformation is an opportunity. Uh, a moment of gratitude is an opportunity. So I do want to share that it's not just the big opportunity. It's not just the big moments that are opportunities. It's the little moments that are also opportunities. And those moments are actually even more powerful than those big moments, because how can you actually receive a big moment when you haven't even, right, like developed the small abilities to expand and hold to that. So I think like the big thing is you are, and I think that's where I feel like your that's where I feel like I'm sensing like that turbulence is, that I feel is going to be your training ground. Truly see it in that way of like, okay, I'm going to go into training mode, not survival mode. Okay? That's a very different space to be in. You're going to be in training mode when turbulence comes, because you are on the cusp of transformation. Really, in my, not necessarily it can be transformation, but it's really like a new level, I would just say. Like you are going to up level, which requires you to do different things. So, and to be different things, to believe at different things. So in order to do that, you got to go into training mode. You have to do things in a different way, repetitively, right? Things are going to happen to you, like issues, right? Like, let me rephrase that. Things are not going to happen to you. Situations are going to be playing out for you to figure out what role you want to play in those situations. That is going to be the camouflage of training. That's how you are going to be in training mode. That's going to come through people. That's going to come through your habits, your fears, and your inconveniences. That's a huge one. Inconveniences you need to look for, because, okay, a really big thing is pain. Pain is one of our greatest, if not the epitome, one of our greatest teachers. Because if everything is all good, we kind of get comfortable, right? Like we kind of just exist, and that's necessary and beautiful. Pain, universe, or your higher self whatever language, source, divine, even our guides, there's going to be painful moments in life that they don't test you. I don't like that language of like things test you, right? I Painful things are happen because, well, one, that's just life. But two, it's they're growth moments. Like when we think of puberty, that was like a literal terrible time for our bodies because it was growing, right? We had to grow and physically like be like our muscles had to literally tear and repair itself and go through an entire growth spurt to be an adult. I think this is a very interesting thing, like this human analogy that keeps coming up in your reading, which I think is most likely very resonant in your life. Um, but what was I saying? Um, our bodies, when we are teenagers going through puberty, it's so difficult and it's so hard on top of the emotional and mental aspect, right? You know this, right? And so it's like it's the same thing with your your spiritual journey, with your business, your project. You're going to have to go through things that are going to tear you not apart, but it's going to literally, it does tear you, right? Like but there needs to be repair. That's the thing. It's like your focus shouldn't be on how do I not get torn apart from turbulence. It's more, it's actually the focus of how do I repair and stay um, energetically clean during turbulence. What are the roles that I want to play in situations where people are reflecting my core wounds, where my habits are the ones from level 2, right? Let's say you're on level 57, and you still are carrying the habit from level 18. How are you going to continue to move forward to level 57 or 58, 60 with the same habits at level, 26? You're not going to get far. You're probably going to stay at 57. So overall, like I really want to emphasize, like there is so much power in uncertainty and turbulence, even though like in our minds it doesn't make sense. But when we lift ourselves up from a higher perspective and really see it from our higher self or from a wider lens, it's like we can truly see it for what it is. And that is something that you may not have as a skill right now, but that is something that you can have if you build it. But of course, like I do want to emphasize as well with the repair, it's not about like having it all together during turbulence. Like you do need support. I think that is something that is going to be vital for you for sure. Like there's going to be a time where you need time alone of like, okay, in my energy. I think right now especially is a really good time for you to be alone, of like I'm just going to clean house. I need to figure out what I want, what I don't want, what is the dirt that I have inside. That is all like singular work, meaning you have to do that. Like you have to do that. You can't make someone else do that for you. You can have people support you, but that needs to be done. And then there's going to be times where you're going to need a lot of love from the outside, because I think there's going to be a lot of lows where you feel like, oh my God, like, is this worth doing? Like, am I enough? Am I doing this in the way that I need to be or want to do? Is what I'm seeing like right? Whatever, right? All these questions. You will have endless questions as your question that you submitted. um, but you're gonna need to form a very strong group, a very small group of people who see you and who know you and who will love on you when you can't do that for yourself and when you can't offer that for others. That's going to be something very powerful for you, and you need that. Like, everyone needs that in every season of their life, but especially with this new season that you're going to be going into, being on the cusp of change, that is an ultimate essential to have. Yeah, you got to know who your support system is. And one of them can certainly be a shadow oracle. Shadow oracle is such, it's a term that I channeled, and it really is someone who helps you, who walks with you on your healing journey. Okay, so I think to wrap up, because I know it's been like forever now, I think a good wrapping up is to pull a card. Just, you can ask a question. I'm gonna ask a question for you. Basically, what is something that you need to let go of right now as you go through change? Because, I think we get excited about new beginnings, but we don't get excited about endings. And I think that it's because it's hard. It's hard to let go. And I think especially when it's good, and when the present is like what you love, and it feeds you, but it's just that you're up leveling. I think that letting go is something that can be really hard and challenging. And yeah, I just want to ask the cards how you can let go, or what you can let go of. And just any words that you need to hold in your heart as you go through this time, this new season of your life. And yeah, how you can just step into that power of your true self. And so you can also ask your questions. And then once you are complete, I would just invite you to close your eyes and then hold your belly, because those were the energies that I was feeling that were really calling out. So just hold your sacral and your solar plexus, which is your belly. Just rub them. You can hug them, you can squeeze them, you can even like tap them, wiggle them, whatever feels right for you. Take a deep breath, and then I'm going to read this to you. Care is not optional. The universe asks, how often do you intentionally care for yourself? The universe wonders, how do you put in the effort to care for others, but disregard the same effort to your needs? The universe cries out, you are worth the effort and time to take care of yourself. You already know what makes you feel good. You already know what makes you feel rested. You already know what makes you feel rejuvenated. But do you believe you deserve to feel good, to be rested, and to wake up every day with happiness? Do you believe you are worth being taken care of by your own hands? Remember that productivity includes rest, and without rest, you abandon the most important person, yourself. Your affirmation is, my self-care is how I embody my self-worth. My self-care is how I embody my self-worth. Now, grab your glass jar. I want to close this space by drinking the last sip. All the intention that you infused, the protection prayer that you infused into the water. Let's drink it as we close this space. And just say thank you as we sip it and as we feel the water going down. And then now I just want you to hold the glass jar, and it feels empty now. Now that the water is gone and into your body. And just thank the jar itself for containing that water and that intention and that protection prayer, and holding space for you, for the energy that you put into your body. I think that's such a beautiful practice that you can also integrate in your life, is just thanking the inanimate materials, because these things really do help us carry on with our days. And in animism, there's a belief that everything is a spirit. So whether you see it as a spirit or an inanimate object, I think it's so important to just still say thank you. And even in this space, saying thank you to yourself for showing up, for listening, for going through all the activities, for opening your heart to the messages, and most importantly, opening your heart to your journey, the thing that you've been impatient about, the thing that you may have been resisting. I think it's okay to be there. And once you feel like it is okay, then all of a sudden the energy feels like it melts and your heart opens up even more to accepting where you are. And I hope that you really take that last card affirmation to your heart, right? Your care is how you embody your worth. That is something that actually is going to be a through line as you go through this gap, as you go through this cusp of change, as you go through this as you go through your turbulence. Caring for yourself is going to be how you optimize your own well-being, your own spiritual connection, and ultimately how you optimize your business or your project. So if this reading resonated with you, please let me know how. I always want to know all the things that landed with you. And in a month from now, in a year from now, reflect on this. These messages are going to carry with you, and just you're going to see them unfold slowly. That's where the integrative practice comes in. And of course, you can always book a one-on-one with me for the check-ins and to really help you as you process and have things unfold for you. Booking a live session is going to help you really bloom and nourish those seeds that have sat within your energy field from this reading.